Hey, good day everybody. This is Dave with greeneyedesign. I thought I'd take a moment and tell you about one of our more recent projects. What you see on your screen here is an older home in Great Falls. greeneyedesign has been asked to do a residential master plan for this space. These are some before pictures, hopefully obviously. The majority of the project I'll be talking to you today about concerns the front facade, which you see pictured here. It's an older home built in the early 1970s, and you can see that it's been kept up very well. However, the exterior leaves a lot to be desired. There were a great deal of trees and shrubs which were planted during an initial construction and then just left and never really touched again, except for some brutal pruning. So in this picture you see some disturbed areas of soil where those shrubs have been grubbed out and the soil prepped for whatever is to come. I like the house very much. It does not have a great deal going for it in terms of architectural lineage. There are no strong architectural lines that hearken to, historic architectural styles. Nevertheless, it's not without its charm. This is a breezeway entrance. This is something you pass by as you walk along this pathway up to the front door. And one of my immediate concerns, and a concern of the client, is that this sort of seems like, or it feels like, the front entrance, and that's something we want to change. It's a very little used entrance, actually. So we want to direct visitors to the front door in a subtle way, but in a direct way. Here's the front door. You can see it's quite beautiful, gorgeous cherry wood with leaded window inserts. The hardscape itself is failing dramatically. The original flagstone steps are, or steppers are just, laid on in soil essentially. So they're heaving and tilted, and this concrete pour here with flagstone skin is failing. The veneer is falling away, and it's actually pretty hazardous. This is the change in elevation from that front door down to the corner of the house. It's relatively dramatic, a little under 6 feet in elevation change. This originally is just a field of vinca, and there were some overgrown shrubs here which have been pulled. We want to treat this area carefully. What we want to do is make a change that's going to look as if it's always been there, if that makes sense. We don't want to do anything that appears to be tacked on or incongruous with the style of the house. One thing that the client wants is an outdoor entertainment area off that front facade down here. So I'd like to show you the first steps with what we've come up with. So this is these are just little perspective sketches that I like to generate to make sure that we're on the same page as the client, that the client understands where we're going with the design. And from these sketches, construction everything that follows is more towards the construction aspect of the design. So here we have a tumbled paver walkway, basically the same dimensions as what is there now, but a lot more stable and a lot more formal. The depth of the planting bed here is the same, and some of the ways in which we have achieved this taking out of focus of this breezeway entrance here and framing the main entrance as the place to be is by several steps. First, we've transplanted that Japanese maple you saw to directly off of that breezeway entrance. Let me show you a better description of that. So here you can see in a plan view that maple, which is down here, has been transplanted so that from the street and from the driveway, this breezeway entrance is very subtly minimized. You basically can't see it behind that tree. The walkway itself extends at the same width all the way up to the front door. However, we narrow the width, and we also tighten things a bit with these informal plantings, which also suggest to a visitor that it's best to continue along this path here. So here you see the new treatment for the front entrance. We want to take care of that elevation change, which is fairly substantial, a little under 2 feet between the finished floor elevation and the current grade of that front walkway. We want to take care of that elevation change in a way that allows for a generous landing, so that you're not fumbling for keys and juggling your groceries trying to get into the front door. You want lots of room to be able to step out at the same level. So we take care of that through a gradual transition to a minor landing up to that major landing. And these are more formal containers which I've placed flanking the front entrance with a bilateral symmetry, and that just adds a bit of formality to the space, and it also frames that front entrance and sets it off as such. The client wanted a little area to step down to off of this living room, to have morning coffee or breakfast or some informal entertaining. The first iteration of this design, this was much larger. We had taken it all the way out across the front facade, had a low retaining wall, a seat wall, and the client felt that was, they were concerned about the volume of space and that it was too much, so we scaled it back. So now it's about half that distance. Here's another look at that going down that front walkway. At this point in the design, I'm not calling out for specific plantings. However, I do have an idea about volume and massing. So I'll put in trees and shrubs which match the massing that I'd like. And then later on, when everything is agreed upon, I'll call out specifics. Here's that shot again. This is a detail of how we've treated this transition, this slope. If you recall, the 6 foot of elevation change from the front entrance down to the corner of the house will be taken up with terraced beds, 2 of them. The client wants a bit of privacy from the main street as well as the neighbors, so I've called out for evergreen plantings to give him some screening, and there's also going to be seasonal change-outs in these beds as well. So there it is. That's what we've been up to the past couple weeks. Once this design is agreed on, we'll move on forward with construction documents and get everything squared away for spring installation. So thank you so much for taking the time to check us out. If you'd like to learn more about our design process and what we're capable of, feel free to visit the website. It's greeneyedesign.org. Again, my name is Dave Bachman, and thanks again for watching.